too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I wanted to pop in real quick and give you what we call the Dr. Boyce Financial Report. And I wanted to tell you guys what's going on in the stock market right now. Today was another great day for the market. I think that there was a decent surge in terms of the S&P 500 and the Dow. And this was the best quarter that the market's had, I believe, since 1987. I got to look at the numbers just to be sure, but this has been an amazing quarter. Prices continue to go up. The market is almost completely ignoring, all the news about Corona and everything else. Most of the Corona news is not positive. Most of it's doom and gloom, scary, and it could be real. I mean, there's actually another virus that's emerging out of China. They said that Dr. Fauci says that the new virus in China has traits of the 2009 swine flu and the 1918 pandemic flu. So you're really talking about something that you got to watch out for, something that could be an issue. So anyway, I see Elisa the Pisces says, thank you, Dr. Watkins, I love your work. Black business schools need it. Well, thank you very much for those kind words, Lisa. I really appreciate that. I think it's needed. And just for good news for you guys, the Black Business School, we just recently crossed 100,000 students, and our students probably pay 1/1000th of what they pay to go to regular business schools, but we have PhDs and lawyers and business owners and billionaires and millionaires and people like Dr. Claude Anderson. So we have things that most business schools don't have. So you may want to give it a try. The Black Business School is really, really good. And also we do something a lot of universities don't do, which is we give money back. We'll give you a money back guarantee on anything that you invest in the Black Business School. So feel free to go take a look. We focus on what we call the pillars of wealth. The 3 pillars of wealth are stock investing, real estate investing, and entrepreneurship. We believe that those 3 areas are the 3 things Black people need to understand early and often, so that we can take the lead when it comes to Blackonomics and building our community, investing in our community, owning our own businesses, controlling our politics, controlling everything all the way down to the schools and the police, but all that's connected to the money. It starts with the money. Believe me, it all starts with the money. If you don't have your own money, then you can't control your own community. That's never going to happen. Donations and all that stuff, all these corporations giving money, that's not going to help the Black community long term because you won't have control. When people give you money, they expect control in return. Now, I see you guys have a couple questions in here. Let me answer a couple. Let's see here. What type of people need to enroll in the Black Business School? Well, it's funny. I talked to a friend of mine today whose daughter went to Howard, and she's at Howard. She's at Howard now, and she got a great internship with a big corporation. And one of the things that we were talking about was she said, I know that you don't agree with my daughter going to college because you think college is a waste of time. And I said, no, that's not true. Actually, I think college can be great. I said, but what you got to watch out for is that Black students actually have the worst student loan problems of any group. The average Black college graduate, if I'm not mistaken, has more college loan debt 10 years after graduation than they had when they finished. Your debt's not supposed to go up, it's supposed to go down, right? But it goes up because half of all Black college graduates default on their student loans, and half of all Black college students don't even graduate. So you take on all this debt, and if you don't finish, you're in big trouble. So what I said I'm not against going to college. I'm also not against people working for corporations. She went to go work for a big corporation. She said, I know you believe it's bad to go work for white people. I said, no, it's not bad to work for white people. I said, but eventually at some point, you want to always have the option of working for Black people or working for yourself. You want to have the option. So it's not so much about always choosing the choice that I would have chosen. It's about having options, right? Options are freedom. Are options. And speaking of options, actually, I'm doing a masterclass on stock options that starts July 8th. And so if you're interested in joining our live masterclass on stock options and how to trade them as part of your stock portfolio, feel free to join us. We get started on the 8th at 8 p.m. and you can go to drboycemasterclass.com. That's drboycemasterclass.com. If somebody could type that in so others can see it, I would appreciate it. Let's see here. Let's see, they're going to segue into pushing these vaccines. Yeah, Kyle, I think they are. I think that vaccines are big money, and I think that they are really looking to I mean, just remember, whenever there's a crisis, somebody's making money. Rahm Emanuel, who worked closely with President Obama, he was his chief of staff. He became mayor of Chicago. He was the one who said, "You never waste a good crisis." So the reason I always tell you guys to just make sure you can keep focused and not just get too distracted in all the other stuff that's going on, all the emotional triggers that are out there, is because there are people that are triggering you deliberately so that you won't focus on the fact that there are people actually in the background making money. So whenever there's a crisis, there's always somebody making money, whether you're talking about a looter who takes advantage of chaos so they can go break into Walmart, or all the way up to the bankers who realize that they can go get $1 trillion out of the federal government from PPP loans and things like that. I know a lot of wealthy people who are doing extremely well because of the crisis, who are actually making more money during the pandemic than they made before the pandemic. So just keep your eye on the ball, and I think that's really important. The ball is the money. So keep your eye on the ballers. How about that? Let's see, Kari. Hey, Kari, what's going on, brother? Best family I've ever been a part of is the Black Business School. Man, I love you, brother. Thank you for saying that. Kari's out of Louisville, if I'm not mistaken. Kari Muhammad. That's my hometown, by the way. R.I.P. Breonna Taylor, and I hope that they arrest the people who killed her, because that's ridiculous. Let's see here. They're going to eventually segue into pushing these vaccines. Yeah, I saw that. Thank you for the knowledge. You're welcome. Perfect example. Your thoughts on black conservatives. What I do is I believe in what we call the B1 philosophy. Hashtag B1 if you agree. Hashtag B1 means that we are black first. So I don't really care if you're liberal or conservative, as long as you're black first. I don't care if you're gay or straight, as long as you're black first. I don't care if you're a feminist or not, as long as you're black first. I don't care what you think about abortion, as long as you're black first. I don't care what you think about immigration, as long as you're black first. Because these other issues, to me, are what Dr. Claude Anderson refers to as horizontal issues. And horizontal issues are things that are designed to divide and conquer. So next thing you know, they get you slaughtering each other like the Hutus and the Tutsis in Rwanda, because you're getting caught up in a dividing line that was created by somebody else. That's why you don't let someone else control the economics and the politics in your community, because by doing that, what they get to do is they get to pick the winners and the losers. They get to pick the high class and the low class. They get to pick the leaders and the non-leaders, right? So when you have people that are coming from outside your community, bringing in a bunch of money and making decisions, like, for example, Netflix came in and said, hey, we're going to give $100 million to HBCUs. Hooray! Way to go, Netflix. Woo! Thank you. He's the white man saving us. He's a good white man. These is good white folks. Well, one thing you might want to keep in mind, though, is that Netflix also is the same company that refused to air a documentary created about and by Minister Louis Farrakhan. They had promised they were going to air it, and then when the protest came back, when the pushback came back, they took it off the air, and that happens to the minister all the time. He and I were going to do a big event at University of Illinois, Chicago. And when he and I were about to do this event, and we were going to bring in the community in Chicago, it's going to be thousands of people there, it's going to be awesome. Right at the last minute, somebody made a couple phone calls. The big money people, the people with the money, the people that control the economics, made a call and said, we don't want those Negroes at our school. Next thing you know, UIC was shutting it down. So at the end of the day, the only answer to that equation is you must own your own stuff. You must control your own economics. So you can let other people help you temporarily, but charity is not a sustainable model for the development of a strong community. Please keep that in mind. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done it. And my Instagram, by the way, if you're not on Instagram already, my Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. And also follow the Black Financial Channel on Instagram. There's a lot of good financial stuff there too. Damn, Dr. Boyce, I wonder how long have you been preaching this message? This is not what I learned in high school. You know what? I've been preaching this message for 25 years. It's just nobody was listening up until recently. It wasn't up until this decade that people really started paying attention. But I've been talking about investing as a key to black power for a very long time, wealth as a key to power for a long time. Dr. Claude Anderson was doing it before I was. Now people get it. Now people are listening. Now people are responding. And I think it's great. People, they may be a little late to the party in my mind, but that's okay. Maybe we were the canaries in the mine. Maybe we were the ones who saw it first. But fortunately, people are listening, and I think that's going to be really one of our big solutions. The black dollar needs to stay in the community. Absolutely. He's an OG. Oh, thank you. Options. Yes, options are definitely freedom. Absolutely. Black people need more corporations, right? Absolutely. We need more businesses. So, when somebody asked me earlier, what type of student should attend the Black Business School? The type of student that should attend a Black Business School is basically a person that wants to understand the keys to wealth and power in this country. We're focused on one key idea, which is blackonomics. Blackonomics is a key for you having the liberation that you would like to have based on whatever it is you want to do. So that doesn't mean necessarily being an entrepreneur. You could be one if you want. It might mean, though, at least knowing how to become an entrepreneur in case you have no other options. You see, what we're trying to say is your final, last straw option should not be like, I wonder if a white man is going to come along and give me a job. Like that can't be your only option. Like you can't be in a position where you're going to starve to death and your children will starve and your woman's going to starve because a white man won't hire you. That does not empower you. So what we teach is the importance of understanding the pillars of wealth, which starts with stock and bond investing, real estate investing, and entrepreneurship. Every black child should know how to start a business by the age of 12. We believe in sending our children to business school as early as possible. If you can send them to basketball camp and football camp at the age of 7, you can send them to investing camp, send them to money camp, send them to wealth camp. If you want to understand why a 28-year-old kid knows nothing about money, well, go back and ask yourself, did they learn anything about money when they were 24? Because when they were 5, 6, 7 years old? No, they didn't, right? So why would you expect them to understand money at 28 if they never learned about money at 8? But I know I can sit down with a bunch of brothers and we can talk about basketball and football, and they'll know everything about basketball and football. I was sitting there talking to one of my buddies from high school, not too long ago, and we were talking about, all kinds of stuff. NBA, NFL, you think they're going to bring back the season? Who do you think is the best player ever? Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? Why did Cam Newton get signed by the Patriots? Like, we really, brothers will know the NFL as if, almost like they are owners of a team. Like, they literally will be that invested in who's playing for who and who's going to win, the Super Bowl, as if they are actually out there on the field, as if they are actually owning the team. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. That's fun. That's part of who we are. That's, great. But you have to also understand that you are also a team owner, and the team is your family. The team is your community. And are you taking care of that team as well as you're taking care of the white man's team? Because remember, the NFL was created by a bunch of people that had a vision 100 years ago, and the Chicago Bears were purchased for $500. Now the Chicago Bears are worth over $3 billion. So if people with vision 100 years ago can create the NFL and purchase the Chicago Bears for $500 and the Bears be worth $3 billion or $2 billion, whatever the number is, 100 years later, what can you create right now that will be worth billions of dollars 100 years from now? Why, with all these celebrities we have, why can't we create our own sports league? They did it during the Negro Leagues. It's all about a matter of thinking big and having vision. And I think that one of the things we've lost as a community is our ability and desire to build and create. We've sort of been wired into this systematic line of thinking that says the best you can do is go to school, work hard so you can get a good job working for somebody else. And that's basically giving you a higher tier of slavery. Because remember, slavery is not being unpaid. So you don't have to be unpaid to be a slave. Slavery is a lack of freedom. Slavery is a lack of options. Slavery is when you get up in the morning and you don't get to decide what you're going to do. Somebody else decides what you're going to do. So if you don't have freedom, then you are a slave, right? You just might be a slave who happens to make $150,000 a year, but that tingling feeling inside your gut that makes you feel uncomfortable every day and makes you want to almost vomit and punch somebody in the face every time you go to work, well, that's slavery talking inside of you. Slavery is not good for your health, especially if you are black. Black men die early because of the pain of slavery. Slavery will eat your insides up like Popeye's chicken. Slavery will destroy you like Grandma's soul food. Slavery will destroy you as if you've been drinking and using drugs your whole life, because that stress, that tension will destroy you. In fact, actually, it's really fascinating. Y'all got me thinking now. Alicia and I were in the car. I'm marrying a therapist, right? A relationship therapist. She does all kinds of therapy. And she's also a professor, so she has a lot to say. So you should be around. We just sit and yip yap, chip 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 chip, and we have smart conversations. But both of us talk too damn much. But anyway, she was telling me about different things in terms of money and relationships, and how money is such an important part of relationships and things like that. And we were doing research on it because we're actually putting together some modules on money and relationships for the Black Business School. And one of the things I remember seeing is they actually said that when you are in a relationship where you're being degraded by the other person, where somebody's talking down to you. Have you ever been in a relationship like that where somebody just talks down to you and just, just constantly has negative things to say to you and is constantly degrading you? You ain't shit, you ain't this, you ain't that, you ugly, you fat, you stupid, whatever, right? Did you know that people who are in relationships like that, where your partner is degrading you on a regular basis, those people have 4 to 5 times more physical ailments than regular people do. Like, they literally physically have 4 to 5 times more things wrong with them. I think they said at least 4 or 5 different communicable diseases that healthy people don't have. So literally being degraded every day, receiving constant microaggressions from an abusive partner on a regular basis literally will kill you. It literally destroys your physical health, not just your mental health. It destroys your physical health. So that depression that you feel, that sadness you feel, that anger, that irritation, that resentment, it all feeds into your bloodstream like a poison. And then next thing you know, you die early. Well, remember, when it comes to your relationship with white supremacist systems and white folks, you are in an abusive relationship. When they talk about microaggressions at work, you've heard that term, microaggressions, where white folks are constantly, the people you work with are talking down on you, making you feel bad about yourself, constantly telling you what's wrong with you, constantly criticizing you, telling you you did this wrong, you did that wrong, trying to fire you on your day off. Well, that seeps into your system the same way an abusive relationship does. I think the only difference might be that it could actually be more severe because you probably spend more time with your job than you spend anywhere else. If you're a man, you spend more time on your job than you spend with your woman. You spend more time on your job than you spend with your kids. You spend more time on your job than you spend with your boys. There's nothing that you spend more time doing than spending time in that abusive relationship with that white man at work, right? And so what I'm saying to you is that this is deeper than just making money. This is deeper than, understanding economics is deeper than just, okay, here's how you go buy a Lamborghini. That's all part of the package. If you want to do that, I think that's great. God bless you. Do whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, it's all about really understanding how freedom benefits you in so many ways that go beyond the money. And it's a myth to believe that you have to be rich to be financially free. You do not have to be rich to be financially free. Financial freedom technically means you are just free from the financial addictions that pull you into a type of slavery. You think about a drug addict is a slave to the drug, right? So in white supremacist systems, you are a drug addict and you are a slave to the drug, and the drug is called money, and the white man is your dope dealer. So it's like dope man. He'll slap you, he'll beat you, he abuses you, he mistreats you because you are the fiend, the crack fiend who's begging, getting on your knees saying, I'll do whatever you ask me, master, just give me that money, right? And so you're constantly being degraded, and they consistently do not respect you because because remember that if you want to be empowered and you are hooked on that drug, you either can, one, get your own supply, if you still want to stay on the drug, right? So if money is your drug and you love money, I'm not here to hate you for that. But if you love money, you better get your money from a clean supplier. If you get it from the drug addict who hates you, or excuse me, the drug dealer who hates you, then he's going to abuse you every chance he gets, right? But either that or you just get unaddicted to the drug, right? You get clean of the drug. And so getting clean of the drug means that you don't need a better drug dealer. Maybe you just don't need the drug. So that's 2 paths to financial freedom. I've seen people go the first path where they say, I love money. I like money. I like being paid. I like driving a Bentley. or a Benz or whatever. I want to live in a big house. I want to, go on vacation every couple of months or whatever. That's totally cool. And that means to me that you want to understand all the ins and outs of money. If you love something, you will understand that thing so you can figure out how to get the most out of that thing. Like I got a black woman that is as beautiful as a Sunday morning sunrise and the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. And I love that woman immensely. And you know what? Because I love that woman, I do everything in my power to understand that woman. I do everything in my power to make sure I stay in her good graces, to make sure our relationship is healthy, to make sure that I protect what I got, right? So if you love your money, if you love your dream of having a big house and a fancy car and having freedom and all that, then you protect that. Learn what you need to learn in order to pursue that. Learn what you need to learn to preserve the things that you value, right? So because remember, your actions are a reflection of your value system. So you don't tell me what you believe. Just let me watch your actions for a day, and then I'll tell you what you believe. Right? Your actions speak 100 times louder than your words. So the question I ask all of you to ask yourselves right now, and then I'm going to be done, I'm going to get on out of here, is what are your actions? What do you do on a daily basis? What matters to you? What are you willing to sacrifice for? What are you ride or die for? What are you willing to get out of your comfort zone in order to pursue? What is it? Because I'm going to tell you like this, just speaking about Alicia, there was a time where I liked her when I was much younger. I knew her. We were friends, and I liked her. I thought she was the prettiest thing in the world, but I wasn't trying to get out of my comfort zone because I didn't like rejection. I had a hard time walking up to a beautiful woman like that because I just didn't know what to say. I was very shy, and I didn't want to get out of my comfort zone. And so because I didn't do that, there was other men that stepped in front of me. They stepped in front of me, and so when I got my chance, I said that's not happening anymore because that's something that I want. I'm going to step out of my comfort zone to get the thing that I want. So if your goal is to become wealthy, and you're not wealthy, then step out of your comfort zone to learn what you need to learn in order to become wealthy. If your goal is to do something to lose weight, I was obese. I had so much weight on me, it was ridiculous. I went to the doctor and they said your blood pressure is so high. We took it 3 times to make sure. We couldn't believe it was that high. You're gonna die if you don't lose weight. So I was like, okay, either I step out of my comfort zone or I'm gonna die. So I stepped out of my comfort zone and started running, right? So whatever it is that you want, you're right now, unfortunately, you're trapped in a bubble. You are a slave to your habits. You are a slave to white supremacy. You are a slave to whatever systems keep you trapped and keep you in a space that you don't enjoy being in. And the only way out is you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. So I would almost argue, based on what we've been talking about today, I did not plan to discuss this like this. I actually planned to talk about some whole different other stuff, but it's okay. I think this is a good conversation. The number one thing I think that would distinguish people that are able to grow and achieve versus people who sit still and just do all the talking and never move forward is your willingness and ability to get out of your comfort zone. So you must ask yourself, am I willing to be uncomfortable to get the thing that I want? And if the answer is no, it's okay. But just understand that you're making a choice to stay inside the bubble of whatever slavery is stressing you out right now, right? So that's all I want to share with you guys. I'm about to get out of here. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button before you go. Also, don't forget, if you want to join the masterclass, we start our options masterclass on the 8th of July. You can go to drboycemasterclass.com. That's drboycemasterclass.com. If you're watching on the Black Financial Channel, make sure you subscribe. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. Those of you on Instagram, that's where the Black Financial Channel is. And I put stuff up there every single day, so it's a great platform. So take care, guys. I'm out of here. Have a good day. I'll see you soon. Be good. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boy's TV.